This is Tailgate Talk, presented by Tarpon Blue.
Let's take a ride. In this series, we're going to show you everything Texas and its surrounding southern states has to offer, right here from our very own tailgate.
We'll take you from life on the farm and the ranch to the big city lights. This is Tailgate Talk. Come along for the ride.
Welcome back to Tailgate Talk. I'm Darla Wallace.
And I'm Katie Abrameit. Today, we're hanging out with my sister, Madelyn Abrameit. She is a Nashville recording artist from here in Texas, and she's going to tell us a little bit about herself, her career, and her music.
Happy to be here. Do you have any questions for me?
Sure. Let's start with, how did you get into music?
Okay, so actually I'll turn the conversation to you. But one day, Katie and I were riding around in a truck to Belmont, which is an old place we used to own a restaurant there. And we were driving there, and we were listening to Martine McBride. I think it was
God-Fearing Women.
Yeah. And I was singing it, not worrying about a thing. I was just singing it and having a good time. And Katie was like, "Oh my gosh, you actually sound kind of good." And I was like, "Really?"
Just kind of.
I was like, "Really?" She was like, "Yeah, start the song over. Let's sing it again or whatever." So I sang it again. And she was like, "Yeah, you do sound good." So then from there, we went to our grandparents' house like a couple days later. I sang God-Fearing Women for them, and my grandma gave me a Loretta Lynn CD. And at that point, I really fell in love with music. Like, I went home and I listened to that CD, and
it was a double album. It was the greatest hits. It had all of her greatest hits on it.
My whole demeanor with music changed at that point. Just knowing like how Loretta Lynn grew up and how she strived to be the person she is today, it just changed my whole point.
So how old were you?
I was around 9.
I think you were about 9.
Yeah, 9.
So our grandpa really loved music, and when my grandma gave Madelyn that CD, she told her, "You can have it, but you have to learn a song on there." So she did take that CD home, and she learned every song on it. And she would sing them in time. And so we went back to my grandparents' house, and my grandpa had his guitar, and he had a microphone and an amp. And he didn't play the guitar anymore, but he gave her the microphone and the amp because she had learned every song on that album, and he just loved to listen to her sing. So he gave it to her, and he said, "I want you to have fun with this and to use it." And so we did. We have countless hours of home video where I would put up a sheet and Madelyn would stand there with the amp and the microphone, and I would just play music on a CD player, and she would just sing with the amp and the microphone over the CD player. I need to find those videos actually. But that's when I remember you really starting to sing.
Yeah.
Do you remember when our dad is a very friendly person, and do you remember when he used to take you into stores?
Oh, yeah.
And like he would just stop random people, like for instance in Home Depot, he would stop people and he'd be like, "Hey, do you like country music?" And they would say, "I guess," and he'd be like, "Listen to this," and he'd just tell Madelyn an artist, like he'd say Dolly Parton.
Yeah, and then I would just start singing. Jolene, 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 I'm begging of you, please don't take my man.
He would stop her mid-song, say Loretta Lynn.
You left me for the bright lights of the town. A country boy set out to see the world.
What about Tammy Wynette? I don't know if you could do that on the guitar.
Stand by your man.
He would just do that, and she would be like so embarrassed.
But I would do it.
I would do it.
That's the important part. You did it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was funny. We would be like in there for 2 hours.
just because he would stop random people and make them listen to her sing.
He loves to talk. That's funny.
Yeah.
Well,
And,
he believes in you.
yes, that's very true. So do you remember when you wrote your first song?
Oh. I feel like when I wrote my first song, that's when I was learning to play guitar. And Chuck Woods, he's from New Braunfels. He taught me how to play guitar. And he's a really good guitar player. He also plays banjo and
He runs the Comal Country Music Show, or he was the band leader at the time for the Comal
for
Country
the
Music Show.
Yeah. And he told me, like, the basic structure of, like, how to do a song, which is the notes in the song would be, like, A, B, C, D, E, or G. They only go to F or G. They only go to G. And he's like, if a song is in G, then A, B, C, and D would be your other notes.
That's
And I
like a
was
whole
like-
foreign language.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I can do this. So I went home and I wrote a song. I think it was about, like,
Cats
dogs
and
cats and stuff. Yeah, I was young. But it worked because I put the chord structure together, and then that's when I kind of started, like, writing.
Do you remember that
tunes,
song?
Not really.
I wish I did, because it actually wasn't a bad song.
No, it wasn't. It sounds weird with, like, dogs and cats, but it actually went together.
One of our cousins always asked me, she's like, I wish I had a recording of that song,
Yeah.
because she's like, I liked it.
Yeah.
What is one of your favorite songs that you've ever written?
Acoustically, I really like Whiskey Wonders, which is going to be out this summer.
That's
whole
the title of your
Of
EP.
my EP. And I think on the record, though, my favorite song is Push You Away, it's more like chill.
That's
More of a chill song and more Casey Musgraves type. It's different than all the rest of the songs, but I like Whiskey
Play a
Wonders
little
the
bit
best.
of both for us.
Okay. They say April showers brings May flowers, but I'm still waiting to bloom. You think I would have grown a little from all this liquid I've consumed? It's the middle of June. It's been 3 months since I lost you. I wonder if the whiskey wonders what you've done to me. I open it up, I pour a drink, it's gone by the morning. The next day I keep pouring. I wonder if the whiskey wonders what you've done to me. That's Whiskey Wonders, and then Push You Away.
I will say, she usually will write a song and make a voice memo of it and send it to me. And Push You Away, she sent it to me, and I said, I don't like that song. But then I was able to go to Nashville whenever she was recording her EP in the recording studio. And I fell in love with that song, with the production and everything behind it.
There's so many different tracks. Like, y'all probably don't know what this means, but there's so many takes of different instruments on that one track, and it just sounds so amazing. I could listen to just the instrumental version of it, like, alone, because it's just the repetition of everything and the way it all flows is very cool, I think.
The lyrics are also really great, which I know lyrically music is important to you because your songs tend to usually mean something when you write them. But play a little bit of that one for us.
I wish I could be who you want me to be, but talk is cheap, and love, it ain't easy. And ooh, have to run. I'm not one to stay. I'm gonna push you away. I'm gonna push you away.
No, that's really good. I love it.
I do too. I fell in love with, like, I feel like it's one of those songs you can just turn on and just like sit on the couch and let it just like flow over you. Like,
how
just
I
let
describe
the
that one
music.
is I could turn all the lights off and just lay on the floor and turn that song on full blast and just like lay there and listen to every single note, lyric, track of that song and be totally content. I just love it.
Well, and I don't know anything about music, obviously, but the playing of the guitar during that song was different. I mean,
Yes.
like, so
Yeah.
It has.
I like this walk down. It sounds so deep. Like it speaks to you. Even if you don't know anything about music, I mean, it's telling you something without telling you anything at all. And I love that.
I think that's a beautiful thing about music.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you say you don't know anything about music, but you do. Every single person that listens to music knows something about music. And that's why music is so like special, because you can listen to a song and you can come up with your own interpretation of what that song means to you as a person or individual. And Katie could listen to the same song and she can come up with a whole different interpretation.
When did you decide you wanted to move to Nashville?
Well, I think I made up my mind about moving, but I was just scared to take that step while I was probably like a junior in high school. Because, I don't know, I wanted, the main reason I moved to Nashville wasn't necessarily to, like, become something there. Because I know that it's hard and there's a bunch of people doing it. The person sitting next to me in a Cracker Barrel could be doing it and trying to do it. But I wanted to move there specifically to learn more about the music industry. Because if I was going to dive into it and put myself in the music industry, I wanted to at least know something, like the business side of it. Because someone could walk up to me tomorrow and say, hey, we want you to join our record label or whatever. And now I know what that means. If they hand me a contract and there's all these certain terms on there, which like it's kind of similar to real estate, I could know what that means and what certain things in that contract mean.
Okay, so explain to everybody what you did in Nashville.
So I just went to college. That's basically
I
it.
just went to college.
I just went to college. I got a degree in music business, which is a thing. It's basically a business degree. You take accounting and all that stuff, but it has the music sprinkled on top, is how I like to describe it. There's publishing, a publishing class I took. I took a copyright laws class. I took a recording class. Yeah.
you took your sister too, right?
Yes, Katie went with me.
I did.
She moved there with me for a couple years just to make sure that I was safe. I have a very good support system, and I
know you do.
Yeah, I'm really appreciative of all that. But yeah, Katie moved with me, and it's funny how things work in life. Mm-hmm. But Katie got a job as a nanny for Joe and Sarah, who I now work for, and she kind of set that up for me because Katie was so good, and they thought that maybe I would have to be good too because Katie's my sister, right? But they are into music. Like Joe used to play for Old Crow Medicine Show, and Sarah teaches piano at Vanderbilt University, and they knew the producer who produced my EP and my single that's out now, Katula, on Apple Music and Spotify and stuff. But his name's Michael Rennie, and he's also the bass player for Miranda Lambert. So he knows a bunch of musicians too, and I'm like so thankful for that because there are a bunch of people playing on my EP that I probably never would have like come in contact with without Joe and Sarah introducing me to Mike and Mike introducing me to all these musicians who played on my EP. But they're very professional. We went and cut my whole EP within 5 hours, and we took an hour break for lunch.
Yeah, it went very fast and it was very smooth. It was really one of the most fascinating things I've ever been involved with. And I think for you, it must have been totally, I mean, it must have been just amazing. For me, it was amazing to get to watch you do that and to go from the steps. Like I said, you send me most of the songs after you write them because you've written most of your songs yourself.
Yeah, all of them.
But then...
but some with you.
Yes, and so there's a couple songs on there that you and I wrote together. And then there's the one that you have released now, Katula, that you, me, and Linda Robinson, or Petrick, wrote together. And to see that song come from the feeling and the idea, because I'm going to take credit for that, but that was like my...
It was your idea.
It was my idea, and it was a feeling, and then to get it to put it into words with you and Linda was great, and to listen to y'all sing it on the guitar and put it to the music was wonderful, but then to see it come to life in the studio was like...
Yeah, it's amazing.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it's like...
Definitely an awe moment, I'm sure.
Yes.
It's like giving birth and then watching your baby like go off to college and be successful and stuff. Like, that's how I would
And then now
describe
to see people react to it too is really cool.
it. Yeah, it is.
Will you play a little bit of that one for us?
Yeah. The stars have never been so bright. I swear I saw them twinkle in your eyes. You lead the way with your hand in mine, staring at the desert sky. Take me to Katula, back to that one night. I didn't know that love like this existed until I looked in your eyes. Thank you. You're welcome.
Why don't you tell everyone what you're going to do now that you're done with school? And
Okay, so my plans are to move back to Texas because Texas is home, and my support system here is unmatched. So I feel like if I want to give music a good shot, I'm going to move here and try to get a band together and start playing places. So yeah, that's my next step. Try to make it that way.
okay. So if anybody wants to find out more about your music, where can they do that?
They can look me up on Facebook, Madelyn Abrameit. They can look me up on Instagram, Abrameit. They can look me up on TikTok, Mad's Music for You. And y'all can find my new single, Katula, out on Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora. What else?
Anywhere you stream
Yeah.
music?
Yeah, basically anywhere you stream music. iHeartRadio, it's out on all those things. So, and then my EP, Whiskey Wonders, is going to be out June 25th. So, if you look,
How
on the
many
lookout for
songs
that.
are on that?
There is 7 total if I count Katula, because I'll re-release that with my EP as well.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for doing Tailgate Talk with
Thank
us
y'all for having
today.
me.
And Madelyn also, fun fact, wrote the jingle for Tailgate Talk with Mike. So why don't you go ahead and play us out.
All right. Welcome to Tailgate Talk with Tarpon Blue. Welcome to the Tailgate Talk with Tarpon Blue. We'll tell you things you might not know. Just stay a while, we'll make you feel at home. At the Tailgate Talk with Tarpon Blue.
Thanks for tuning in today, and thank you to our guests for sharing their story.
Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll see you next time on Tailgate Talk.
We'll tell you things you might not know.